This is True Buds, that Mary Jane, now we ain't new to this. For my stoners and for my cannabis enthusiasts, never heard a show as good as this. Yeah, number one, it's the best. Bringing in many special guests in the industry of cannabis. Business owners to growers, even artists you know of. So sit back and just roll up, the perfect show for my smokers. True Buds.
Welcome to the True Buds TV show, where I chill with cannabis industry guests from business owners, growers, entrepreneurs, artists. I'm Jack Woltering, and I'm here with a special guest today. You've probably seen on my YouTube channel, True Buds TV. He's been growing for a long time. Very skilled. The most knowledgeable person I know when it comes to growing cannabis, Mr. Chris Hulit.
How you doing, guys? Good to be here. First podcast here with the True Buds. Pretty excited today.
Same here, up in this nice studio. Thanks to Mike here running it today.
Hell yeah.
So Chris, what's good, man? We're smoking actually on a little hash bowl, not that much longer, that bubble hash that Chris made.
Yeah, it was pretty not bad. Pretty good result. Just getting to like the final stage of the outdoor season here. Hitting the home stretch, just trying to do like all the preventative maintenance to make sure we can not lose too much of the crop this year. With the climate change and stuff, the humidity's been higher than ever the last couple of years, so I've been struggling at my own personal spot. You know, I've definitely lost some of my crop, so I'm just at my other
R.I.P.,
spots,
man.
Trying to, you know.
It's good that you got those other spots though too to see how it's going to play out there. Now, like, what would you say, because I want to try to help people who are trying to grow themselves, somebody like myself who doesn't have much space, and we've talked about this on previous videos before. What might you say for the beginning grower trying to do maybe one or two plants in their house, whether in front of a window or with lighting? What do you think?
I would think doing it outside's your best bet if you can. You know, some places the weather's going to be like too cold or hot, but you could just do like a small closet setup with one light or get a little tent or something like that. But I feel like if you're just going to do one or two plants and it's limited outdoors, the way to go, you're going to get the most bang for your buck that way, and you're going to get the most amount of bud. But it's definitely going to take a little bit of love and care for sure. For sure.
And I guess I kind of asked you that a little selfishly because I don't have a spot outside.
Yeah.
And so you've seen my place. You're just in it. Like, and you saw that window I had. What would you recommend if somebody who, you know, like me, who doesn't have an outdoor spot but wants to get a little something growing, wants to start dabbling, and they can get, you know?
You could try it. I've never tried it. I've tried it in a window unsuccessfully before, you know, but if you have enough light, it might work, but you're going to need more like ventilation and CO2 since you're inside to get like a good yield. But as long as you have like 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight, you're going to get something growing there. I don't know how good the bud's going to be in the end, but it can't hurt to try.
All right,
you know?
experiment.
You can have 6 plants now, so, you know.
Hey, well,
can't hurt to try.
I'm inspired.
For sure.
I've been talking about it for some months. I just need to step up and do it.
Well, I'll give you a couple plants. I'm about to start up like a little winter batch of smaller plants. So once they're, you know, started off, I'll set you up, dude, with some of the sherbet cookies. I'm going to start. It's like a new strain. I just got some seeds of that. Super fucking frosty, piney. Can't wait to test it out, man.
Nice, man. You always up on the most like current strains. You always know what's going on. What was it last time on the Cannabis Enthusiast episode? You were talking about
the Mac.
The Mac.
Yeah.
You remember the Mac, and then you were talking about the white Runts.
Yeah.
And now you're saying this the Burners brand, the cookies, has really been heating up.
Yeah, that's been pretty popular, especially like up in the Bay Area and stuff like that. But it's starting to come down here too. But it's just all these new flavors. They're fucking strong. They're super frosty. Like, it's hard to beat the bag appeal of how they look, you know? It's all purple and smells amazing.
For me, sometimes it's impossible to beat that just like dark granddaddy perp. You know, just that like I've only had one that was like truly fully throughout. I cracked it open. It was like still straight up purple. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, it's killer, dude.
And I remember it. like yesterday.
Yeah, if you remember it for this long, it must have been good. You know, some of them just like stick in your head for a long time, kind of.
Yeah, and I remember on an enthusiast episode, once again to bring it up, it's on a YouTube channel, but we were talking about, you know, like your history, and then we started talking about the chronic, and when that came out, what a big deal it was, and that was pretty funny. But what I thought was interesting too was how you were talking about the kind of stuff you're genetically making yourself in terms of strains, and then we had to talk about like strains in general, which is really cool. So
yeah,
how are those coming out right now?
Pretty good. There's like a lot of variation. I made my first batch of seeds. It was like Sunset Sherbert and Grapeseed Kittles, and I crossed them with like an unknown male that I had. So that was like the first batch I made. So I took all those and I back crossed them with another male, and I crossed all the different phenotypes I had. There was like 6 or 8 different kinds, and now we're growing them all out this year. Definitely had a lot of males, but there's definitely some good ones, like Super Frosty, just crazy looking stuff. There's some super sativa smelling stuff. It's got that kind of like Jack smell.
Bro, sorry to butt in there on you.
Yeah.
I've just been I went to like 2 dispensaries lately. I was like, yo, can I just get like an eighth of sativa? Like, we can't get it. I guess right now it's hard to get her. It could have been I just went to some small dispensaries or some shit.
Most people aren't asking for sativa. Everyone wants that cookies.
I thought it was the opposite
shit.
though. I thought people wanted sativas while they're out.
Well, the indicas are have like better yielders. They grow faster. You know, for the sativas, you got to let them flower for like 10, 11 weeks sometimes. So for like commercial growers, it just doesn't make sense to them to grow those. You know, and they're just not as dense. But there's definitely a demand with some people, but it's like the places where I go, it's like mostly all indica now. But definitely I've got a lot of sativas and hybrids. Most of the indica stuff is finishing up in the next couple of weeks, but some of those sativas just want to keep getting longer. I've got one that's like 9.5 feet tall.
Damn, you know, are you for real? That's like,
yeah, it's
just
freaking
popping
it's
up
huge,
like
dude. I tried to like keep it lower. I'm like, oh, they're gonna go over the fence and piss off the neighbors, but at one point I'm like, fuck it, they haven't said anything yet, you know.
When you said that, it reminded me of the fucking...
It's like it's just hovering over my head. I can't even see the top. I need like a little ladder.
So when it comes time to crop it, you're just gonna chop it and then get the head?
I just cut down the whole plant usually, unless there's a lot of like lower buds that need to develop longer. You can cut the top of your plant down and then let the second half go a little longer. But when you do that, it kind of like opens up the plant for disease and pests and stuff like that, because you're going to have a giant hole in the top where you cut your plant.
Makes sense.
So, I don't know. For me, I just cut down the whole plant usually and try and hang the whole plant by itself.
Try out.
And then it'll get like the best flavor that way, kind of. If you cut it up into a bunch of pieces, you get a lot of chlorophyll like leaking out of the bud, and that can give you that fucked up smell that's like... When you grow some bud and it smells good, when you get that hay smell in the end, it's because you fucked up in the drying process, and that's like, you don't want that, you know?
Fuck that.
Yeah.
But you made me think of something when you were saying harvest, and we were talking earlier at my place about like, you know, certain pesticides or chemicals on plants, and you were dropping some names that I didn't know, in terms of like, what's the crazy one we were talking about that will actually like, that's...
There's some thing called Eagle 20 that's popular, that's like commonly used. It's like a pesticide. It's just really like harmful shit to like plants and animals and people, you know. So I stay away from shit like that. It works good, you know. You're not going to have mites or bugs on your plants if you use it, you know. So it's commonly used because... You know, and if you're investing so much money, you can't afford to lose your crop sometimes, you know, on like a really massive scale. But I just am mostly growing like for like personal and
but
like
people who would be using that would only be doing it straight for the dollars, right? They're not trying to make their own.
They just don't care about.
But you don't think they'd be smoking on it?
Oh yeah, people smoke it too.
You think the grower putting that shit on his plants would still smoke it?
Oh yeah.
Oh okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I've probably done it before.
Yeah, we've all probably smoked it. You know, like,
it's probably in my bloodstream for life.
Yeah, and it like lingers around for like a long time. I just try and stick to organic stuff. I'm trying to learn more about making my own pesticides and just using like natural plant oils to prevent bugs and disease to the plants.
Dude, I love how knowledgeable you are. Like I was saying in the beginning, you're the most knowledgeable person I know when it comes to cannabis. And that's where I want to help everybody here right now and kind of talk about maybe how they could either break into the cannabis industry, whether they want to grow, you know, and I can talk a little bit maybe about the like video side of it and what I do. But I'm just kind of curious of what you think right now in the legal markets, maybe say where they're big here in Colorado. I don't know much about Canada, maybe you do, but California for sure. What's your thoughts of like,
I don't know.
Your ambitions,
I'm trying to get into it myself. You know, like I had my own operation for a while, but that definitely wasn't like fully legit. You know, so it was
a nice operation, though.
Yeah, it was a nice operation. You know, but we didn't get all the proper like licensing down and everything, so that wasn't like something I wanted to be a part of for very long, you know, because it's just too much risk.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
It's definitely like something people can get into. There's different like apps and stuff now that you can find cannabis jobs in, but I'm still trying to break into the legal market myself. I feel like it's pretty tight knit, you know, like people hire the people they know, you know, because it's like a high risk business for like robbery and shit like that, so people tend to hire people they know and trust. But it's just
and I know if ever I was starting my own, you know, this cannabis farm, you'd be the first person I contact.
Yeah.
You know, it's like but like knowing your skill set and your knowledge on it, and like we've done tons of videos together, you've blown my mind many times on like that only comes from practice and research and learning, you know? Like,
yeah, it just comes from like reading and just, you know, actually doing it and learning from your mistakes, trying to take notes, you know, of how like certain strains perform and different traits, you know, like how they do with mold and pest resistance and stuff like that, because, you know, that's what you're doing with breeding and making your own strain. You're trying to get to a goal of, you know, something you want, which is like no mold, no pests, nugs that aren't too big, that can handle moisture, so they don't get like all fucking, you get these giant buds sometimes and then you crack them open and they're all like ruined on the inside, you know?
So you can't use them?
No.
Dude, I'm about to
unless you're gonna make like distillate or something like that.
Oh, so you could still, how would you make the distillate out of that? Would you?
I'm not a chemist, you know, but you basically, it's like a chemical extraction, so you're just extracting like the THC out of it, so you're not taking out any of that mold or like excess stuff that's in there.
Okay.
You know, so like I've even seen a billboard before that they had in like Humboldt County offering to buy like fucked up weed for cheap, you know, because they can still make shit out of it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of that trim you gave me and those peanut butter bites I gave you that I made out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
that hit hard.
Yeah, they were pretty strong.
Yeah.
Definitely did like the 10-time strength on those things.
Yeah, that was a crock pot slow cook, man. That was. Did you try any?
Yeah, I ate the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh, really? And you were cool?
Or no, I ate half of it, and then I ate half of it another time. But yeah, it was solid, dude.
Because I had the whole thing,
good.
and I was done.
Yeah, the whole thing might have been too much.
But that's the way to do it, is space it out with anything, you know?
Yeah, definitely don't take too much edibles unless you friggin' smoke like an ounce a day. But
you don't take too many edibles in general.
I'm not big on edibles. They kind of like weigh me down a little bit, I feel like, you know.
That's why I like them at night.
Yeah.
Like a little bit, like get a nice sleep.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I'm a night owl too. So.
Yeah. I like them for nighttime, but for me at the daytime, it's like
it's
too
hard.
much.
You gotta plan on not doing shit.
Yeah,
most of the
maybe
time.
because I make them so strong too. You know.
Yeah. Or for me too, it's like maybe not doing shit, but like maybe not working. I could still maybe go on like a hike or go to the beach, do something cool. But eating edibles during the day is tough sometimes.
Yeah, I guess you want the sativa edibles for the day. You know, the indica ones for the night.
Dude, those sativas, if you're eating a certain amount from me, like will still hit me hard.
Oh, really?
Like I'll eat them, like because I'll make a video and then I'll eat them. But I'll shoot another video after this, and I'm like too cooked. I'm like, dude, I'm just hanging out,
Yeah, we got to make some more of those and perfect the recipe for sure.
To me, what I would do in hindsight on those, and you can check that recipe out once again on the True Buds TV YouTube page. But what I would do there is I would probably do a little less. I would for sure do a little less powdered sugar. Because did you see how sweet they were? I put like a whole bag of powdered sugar in that shit.
Oh, really?
So maybe what I might do is maybe do some powdered sugar, maybe throw some like almonds in there. I'm just thinking of this off the top. Really?
I was thinking coating it in chocolate and then putting some kind of like nuts or something crunchy.
Did you text me that and I'm just like claiming it as my idea?
Well, I think I told you it worked. I don't know. Yeah.
No, but it's funny. I had like 3 or 4 people comment on that video like, you should coat it in chocolate. You should make a Reese's Pieces. And I'm like...
I definitely have had something like that, you know, from a shop before. It was just like that stuff coated in chocolate, and it was like my favorite edible ever.
You know, so what is your favorite edible that you've purchased at a dispensary? I'm curious.
It was like called a Bud Delight.
And how long ago was this?
That was a few years ago. It was actually free. Okay. I usually don't buy them. So I got that, and then I got some coffee cake this one time from this guy named like Big B's Sexy Edibles or something.
I think this is why you don't like edibles.
Good, dude.
I think you haven't been like, because dude, right now there's so many good edibles on the market.
I've had the Chiba Chews before. Those were like really super strong. But I just don't. You know, I'm always. I'm looking when I go to a dispensary. I'm just looking for like, what's the best kind of weed you have? You know?
But that's where I feel let down sometimes because honestly, the stuff that you give me, I feel like is the same or better than what I'm spending money on. So that's where, like, for me, like the labor in terms of edibles or vape cartridges is not worth it a lot of times.
Yeah.
Unless you're in a state where it's not as chill as here, you know. But I think you need to feel that out, you know. Like, not you, just the people in general, is because the edibles are just this hash has got me like on a random. No, but what I'm saying is like a lot of times to make the butter, to infuse your cookies or whatever, that takes hours and hours of time where you could probably make that money and go buy a little.
Yeah, you could just spend $20
and it's dosed out, and and that's my biggest thing is you know what you're getting because you have to test your stuff unless you're making it the same way every time. And that's where it takes practice and time. Is like if you're going to make a coconut oil, you have to find your recipe and hone it until you can know your proper dose. Because every edible I've made, for the most part, I don't really know because it's a one-off batch. And then
you got it depends on the strength of the trim or bud or whatever you're using for it, you know, and how long you cook it for. That can affect the strength, you know, so you got to be careful with edibles, dude. But I get how, you know, you might want to buy one and then, you know, all right, I'm gonna get this high, you know, instead of just cooking up a bunch of trim and then you're like, holy shit, I'm done for the day.
But that is a nice way. But are you in agreement with me probably that the dry ice keef method that we did in that video was probably the best way to make use of your trim, or do you still think?
I don't know because I haven't smoked too much of it. I actually want to press it into some rosin and
let's do a video, please.
Yeah,
I've been smoking on it. It's really good.
Yeah, we need to get the like a good press, you know, because that's how they make a lot of rosin now.
They're expensive, bro.
Yeah,
ever since we did that video, I've been looking at them and I'm like, dude, these things are.
Yeah, it's like a couple grand for like a good one.
Yeah, you don't want to half-ass it either, right?
Yeah. Well, you could get one just to like for like your own personal use, but you know, I feel like it's a lot of shit. You don't want to buy the cheapest one because it just fucking. That's what
I think about, like everything. And since I started just about like 10 years ago, I was like, sometimes, you know, it's just like even the cheap to like moderately expensive shit is always just like, especially with like gear, like camera shit and audio shit I've bought. Like I bought so many shitty half-ass microphones when I'm like, yo, I could have taken all that money in these half-ass microphones and bought like a really nice dope one, like the one I'm talking in now, instead of spending on, you know, pieces of shit.
Yeah, and this one's gonna like last you like way longer. Yeah. It's just how it is.
And it applies to the cannabis game.
Yeah, definitely.
And for some reason too, something popped in my head from that other interview we did was we were talking about, you know, the legal game and how hard it is to maintain like a perfect product on large scale grows.
Yeah.
And you said something that stuck out to me was like, which I believe in, is that like if you're paying minimum wage, you're going to get minimum results. Yeah. And I don't know if that's exactly what you said, but like,
totally.
But it's true with a lot of shit, you know. So it's just interesting to think like the best, like Whereas like is there right now somebody who's like just a small cultivator who has like the most bomb shit on like a really like relatively small scale that can sell it for like a high amount, just that high end?
Not that I know of. There's one guy named Matt Rise. He does like hash like that.
Okay.
But that guy fucking closed down, I think.
Okay.
Because like all the legal like regulations and shit. But he has like $100 gram hash he makes, and like he fucking was surviving off of that.
Do you
for
think
a
that's?
while. Yeah.
Oh, I took it like literally for a second when you said that. Like that's all he had is like no food.
Yeah, he would eat it too. No, but yeah, dude, there are people like that for sure that are just like craft farmers that have the bomb shit. Basically, anyone can do that. If you have that bomb product and you grow a little bit, you're not going to have any problem getting rid of it.
Yeah, and you would do it on the black market anyway, probably.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting to see, though.
Yeah.
Because, like, when I went on that, like, tour, that weed bus tour, the guy was just saying, like, everybody, when they go in the shop, is basically, like, looking up, like, what's your best, most expensive shit? Give it to me. Like, how many people?
Some people are. I feel like only some people.
But he was saying, like, most.
The
though,
other, there's a lot of people that are looking for, like, the cheapest shit, too.
That's true.
Like,
but
the cheapest good
then they
shit,
probably wouldn't be in there, though. They'd probably be getting it on the black market.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Or I would think.
Exactly.
I would think. So, like,
a lot of them,
a lot of these people, too, are probably from out of town. Like, I'm in Cali. I want the best shit. Give me the best shit.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like there's such a high, like, demand. And that's where, like, the names and, like, actually if they change it and, like, we were talking about with, like, laboratory testing and stuff, like how some of these big people could do an independent lab you were mentioning, like, like to get through some of these loopholes.
Like, I feel like at least, I don't know a percentage, but not all the lab tests are legit. There's no way, like there's too much money going around. Like, you could open up a lab, under this LLC, and then open up your distribution under some other name and your grow off some other different business name, but you can all be connected still, so like if your stuff isn't passing the lab test, you can just pass it through, and then you can do some legit tests from other growers and be like, oh well, this one didn't pass, and do legit testing on most of it, and then the stuff that you're growing yourself, you can slide it through, like it's
right.
They're trying to regulate it, and there's some like track and trace system where you have to track like every plant from seed that you grow. That's like how it is now.
And I believe it. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Have you seen that Netflix documentary about Humboldt?
Yeah.
What's it called? The something mountain?
Murder Mountain?
Murder Mountain.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, that kind of opened my eyes, and I'm sure you've been there, about it a lot more than me, So that like really opened my eyes, though, for like these people who, to me, kind of like have the essence of like the cannabis game, like
it's
in
like
them,
it's like part of their culture.
Yeah, exactly.
They've been growing for like generations up there, a lot of people, and now they have like these big businesses in that are trying to like take advantage of them and stuff like that, basically. And
it's like reminds me of freaking Walmart,
Yeah, it's crazy.
Not hating on Walmart, but I grew up in a small town in Jersey, so like when Walmart came to the neighboring town,
right,
you would see there was like, I felt bad for some of the small mom and pop shops, which you see with a lot of other stuff, and that's what's happening with some of these bigger cannabis brands. To be quite honest, they're pushing the little guy out, which makes sense because they have the money to do so, but that kind of, I don't know.
That was the plan, to try and push the little guy out, but like right now,
and they're doing that in Humboldt,
like,
for sure.
It's not working, basically, is what's happening now. All these people are putting all this money into the cannabis, and all these billion-dollar companies and MedMen with all their stores and fucking actors and everyone like promoting their brand, but they're not making money, basically. They're not making a lot of money. Their stocks aren't going up a lot, and the black market's like thriving more than ever right now because like the price of good bud, it's like gone up a lot,
And you're totally right, and that's where like you're right, and that's where it's kind of messed up. And that's why I support the little guy, and I'm going to shout him out as like the Beach Collective, actually, in Gardena, when I used to live down there.
Yeah.
I know you're closer to there. Is really chill, and they have like...
I've been there.
Oh, they have reasonable...
They sell like a lot of like sun-grown product there and stuff like that. It's pretty cool, but it's expensive, you know. If you want,
really? I
like,
thought it was a little cheaper.
Well, I haven't been in years, but you know, last time I would go there, it was like, God damn, this place is expensive.
Dude, I remember when I had my medical card even, and shit was cheaper.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay.
Well, now it's like if you have your medical card, it's some like the real legit shops. They have the medical price and the recreational price, and you're gonna end up paying
I should go get it again.
10% more or something for recreational.
I'm just too lazy to go fucking sit there.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And there's not as many places to get your card as there used to be. And most of those places are like long gone now, you know, because you can just buy.
That must have been
weed,
interesting to see on the, you know, seeing that on the come up.
Yeah, well, like people made a killing off of it, you know, off that.
When did that really hit? Was that 2016 when it really took off?
No, way before.
Before that.
Like 2007 or
Holy
something.
shit,
People
okay.
started getting their recs out in California,
Damn.
but it just kept getting bigger year after year. Like my first rec, I paid like $150.
Damn.
Some guy friggin' grabbed my balls. It was like a real checkup, you
Oh,
know?
okay.
Like it was like a real.
Maybe he just liked
it
you.
was in a real doctor's office, you know. And then by the time, like, you know, like 2016. It was just some guy who looked like he was Santa Claus during the winter time in like some random building, you know, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, okay, here's your card," you know, like.
Yeah, but he took your blood pressure and stuff too.
Nah, he didn't.
Oh, really?
Do
Oh,
shit.
he did
Like
when I went,
once
they did.
would see that you've had your thing before, you know, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, here you go." You
Oh
know?
yeah. When you've already had it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then I've heard of another guy, like he went to the doctor for it, and they'd be like, "Do you have insomnia?"
That's
No.
what I said.
Do you have headaches?
Oh.
No, I'm fine. No. Do you have like high blood pressure? No. And he just kept saying no, and he was like, "Dude, I just want the fucking card for weed, man. Like, what do you fucking mean? I'm fine, you know?"
He's nodding up and down like, do you have high blood pressure?
Yeah, eventually they gave it to him anyway. Yeah, that was a fucking crazy business model. If you had your medical degree, you could just make fucking thousands of dollars a day off of that
Help
shit.
them pay off the
with
student
having
loans,
like
man.
1 or 2 employees and yourself, you know, making hundreds and hundreds of dollars every hour, you know, off just selling those recommendations.
Yeah. I know. My first experience was not fun. I was in there for like an hour and a half. Like, we'll give you $5 off.
Oh shit.
I'm like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
But it was cool. I mean, my first experience was cool. I'm like, yo, coming from somewhere where it's illegal. I was in Kansas at the time, and I'm like, come out, get a card, and it's legal. And I go in my first shop, which is the Green Goddess in Venice. And I walk in, you know, your first experience, especially coming from like, you know, where it's so stigmatized, and especially in like, you could even call Kansas, you know, the freaking Bible Belt, you know, Midwest. It's like cannabis is still to this day stigmatized.
that must
Although
have been
Missouri's been
awesome.
coming up on some stuff, and there's been some Kansas City moves for sure. And the whole CBD movement and that hemp law that was passed has really changed some stuff, like, for the better. And I think it's a matter of time
for like some of these people that are farming corn. Why can't they start farming CBD hemp now and making like fucking 100 times more money, you know?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But the only thing though is like, that's where the stigma is though, because I personally know people out there who have farms, and there's still that stigma attached. They don't want to be like, it's still early in the game, you know?
Yeah.
To be like, and there's a lot of people who are progressive. I have some friends also who are starting to do this with their farm, but it's like, some people still don't want to get in that game. It's still not seen.
Yeah, it's still like federally like illegal and stuff, you know?
You hear about Jim down there, he's growing hemp there, you know?
He's a real piece of shit. Yeah, I guess, yeah, some people are going to be saying that about you.
That's
you know?
the beauty of cannabis, though, is no matter where I lived, it's still like a uniting force in that way, where you always meet, and it doesn't have to be cannabis. I believe that like humankind in general is just pretty kind, but like especially with the cannabis culture, like most people you meet are pretty chill, and that's what I realized the first time in the dispensary. I'm like everybody's pretty chill. Like I couldn't imagine anybody yelling at a bud tender.
Right.
If I saw that, I'd be like,
yeah,
let's get this guy his stuff here.
I've never seen that, ever.
And thank you to the sponsor of this podcast, MarijuanaBreak.com, a valuable resource for anybody who's trying to dive more into cannabis. They got reviews, they got recipes, they got a sick blog. Go check out MarijuanaBreak.com. And now, back to the show. Could you imagine that?
Yeah, dude. Actually, no.
After I said that, I can, like, in the near future. Like, people do it in restaurants all the time. Eventually, dispensaries are going to become like restaurants, and people are going to be like yelling like, "You don't have my sativa today."
Yeah, totally. That stuff you recommended fucking sucked last week, Hillary.
Oh shoot, that's funny, man. Off on a tangent on that.
Do you have any specials tonight? Yeah, we have this really old weed in the back here.
Yeah, no, Budtenders have always been good to me, man.
Yeah, I don't like them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not a fan, too.
Okay. Well,
yeah, like, if you even ask them a question, usually they just are fucking, like, clueless, and, like, they're just like, oh, what do you want? I'm like, you fucking work here. Like, tell me what the best shit you have is, and if you don't know that, you probably shouldn't fucking work here, you know? Like, what the fuck is going on?
I see you.
If you want to make me smell 20 jars to find, like, the best 3 kinds of weed, we can play that game, or you can just fucking tell me what they are. You know?
Well, I guess that's too where I have lower expectations, I guess, than you, and a lower knowledge. So I walk in, they'll be like, this one's really good. I'll be like, thank you. Put it in there.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of picky after a while, you know, and I'm like, this stuff sucks. I've definitely walked out of a couple dispensaries and been like, only like twice. I feel like obligated to buy something, especially before when you had to like fill out all this paperwork and stuff, you know, and then I'm like, dude.
Oh, dude, that's the part I hate the most.
Yeah.
Like, I've recently driven by some stuff, and I was like, fuck that. I don't feel like sitting next to some security guy filling out paperwork for 10 minutes to get a bag.
Yeah. Well, now it's like a little easier. I feel like you just give them your ID, you know, at least when you go once. But I really just don't go that much anymore.
Yeah, there's no need.
The last time I went, there's this one by my house. It's like the Church of Weed, and you have to like claim that you're like fucking weed is part of your religious process or something.
What?
Yeah, and
wait.
That's how you can open a dispensary. Like, they have 2 in Redondo Beach.
You're blowing my mind. Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, it's like a weed church. And so, like the FBI or something can't legally raid.
Can I start
church. I don't know. Fucking Google it, man. Check it out, dude.
True Buds Church.
I'll text that guy Joe who owns that fucking place and ask him, because they got shut down for a few months. They went away, and now they're back again, and there's like a couple spots in Redondo. I know that you're not allowed to open a shop in Redondo. There was like a moratorium against shops in Redondo and like the whole South Bay like a long time ago.
And who put that in place?
The city, like the residents and people like voted for that, you know, and they made legal cannabis. There was a couple spots in Redondo and stuff, but they all got shut down. But recently these guys opened those churches because it falls under like some different kind of window, because it's a church technically, you know?
So, but I'm just kind of confused. So could a church sell alcohol?
I don't know.
like all of a sudden, like churches just start slinging all drugs.
There's a lot of paperwork, but you just sign it over, something about the church, like that you use weed as part of your religion, and then you can buy weed there. And they're fucking behind a head shop attached to a bong shop, and you go in the bong shop and buy some papers or a bong, and they're like, oh yeah, we sell weed in the back if you go back there.
Bro, if this religion was around when I was younger, I might be religious.
Yeah, a lot more people might be religious if they spread the word better. But yeah, that guy makes money, and like they're not like a legit shop where all the shit's like pre-packed now and everything. It's all like fucking just all jarred up. They weigh it out right in front of you. Like,
I actually just read that it said nationally, these weed churches, there's one in Indiana where marijuana still remains illegal, and Michigan where just medical marijuana is allowed, but the weed church is not. They don't fuck with the actual weed church.
Yeah, it's weird. Wait, dude. What? Yeah, there's another shop over on Western that's a weed church too, dude, in like Gardena, but they keep getting shut down and stuff too. But it's fucking weird, bro.
Dude, that's crazy. Thank you for that, man. It's like,
it's like
I feel out of the loop.
Like,
I did not know. It's
called like Seaside Church or something like that.
Damn.
Yeah. They don't have the best weed, but it's like, you know, it's down the street from the pad, dude.
It's roll in. It's like, so what's the religion?
I don't know, dude. They made it up. There's like a little.
Okay.
There's like
it's like a weed religion.
There's like a little statue in the waiting room, you know, and like little fountain type thing. Like, yeah, I swear, dude, you gotta check it out, dude. It's really close to, not too far from home, man.
I'm sorry, it's just
Yeah, and like when I had my grow, I was trying to like, you know, get my product in that weed church, dude, but that guy kept lowballing me too much, man. Fucking, he took like a month to come around in the end, and
what?
he was just trying to get everything for too cheap, dude.
Like, he probably has a lot of people coming to him.
Probably.
You can
They
probably
were,
pull
they
that.
were stoked when I came in.
Oh, really?
They were like all excited about my herb. They just didn't want to pay very much for it.
What's your asking rate?
I was trying to get like 1,500 or 1,600 a pound, but that was like 2 years
Dude.
ago, and people were trying to pay like 1,000, you know, and they were getting good stuff for like 1,000 or 1,100. But now the market's back up to like 1,500 and 1,600.
When you say that, yeah. When you
Yeah.
say that, though, I remember in Jersey paying like 13 for a QP.
I remember paying $4,800 for a fucking pound, bro. Like back in the day.
Shit.
Yeah, shit used to be expensive.
Did you ever have dry times out here? I might ask you this before.
Never.
Yeah.
No.
And of course, in the East Coast, for me at least, sometimes the summers, and then in the Midwest, sometimes summers would seem to get a little dry.
Yeah, there's just like most of the shit would be like from Canada that we would get here when I was younger, like BC fucking bud, and then like a lot of this local, like it's called British Columbia.
Okay,
you know?
okay.
There's like this shit they used to call beasters back in
Oh,
the
okay,
day.
that's what okay.
You know, they'd have like fat fucking nugs, but they grow a lot of bud up there. They say like every other house in British Columbia grows weed or some shit like that.
Really?
Yeah. It's been like a thing for a long time, I guess.
Wow.
Because weed's just, it's just tolerated there. It's not legal.
So it's just
Yeah.
like a way of life.
Yeah,
right?
I guess
It's like-
so. Yeah. I've never been there. Sounds pretty cool, though.
Yeah, that sounds.
Yeah, and then like just like local shit, people would always be getting stuff from Humboldt, and then you'd get like indoor stuff from like LA, like local stuff. But yeah, the price has like come. It used to be like 400 for an ounce when I was a kid, like the bomb shit.
Well, that's good to know it was all over then.
And then
even out
when
here.
like the Cushes came out, people were fucking trying to get 600 an ounce. The shops would sell weed for $75 for an eighth of that shit.
Dude, this actually makes. I know that's like kind of fucked up, but it makes me happy because those are the rates that I was paying out in the East Coast.
Yeah. But that was like for like the best
Oh
shit,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But now it's like that. Those prices are like unheard of, you know? Like you can buy an ounce at a shop for like $300, or like some really good herb at like a legit shop now.
And that's where I'm saying though, like the prime. Like I've still to this day. Maybe I need to go to more shops, check out more stuff. Like I
Yeah.
said, I get easily sold, but I'm still yet to get like some flower here that has just like blown my mind. Because I've gotten other stuff, like even some of your stuff that I've had, like it's really good. Like I'm yet to find some that I've been like,
Well, there's
like that
people
perp I was talking about.
People chase that shit. Like the really popular shops, they'll get a new strain and they'll fucking sell out in one day. You know, because
People standing outside and
yeah,
shit.
they'll post it on Instagram and people will come pick up like a bunch. You know, so like if it's like a really like hot one or new one, you know, people come and pick up, and you know, like these fucking rappers and rich guys, bro, they'll buy a fucking t-shirt bag full of shit. You know.
Have you had a Khalifa Kush?
No, or probably like
It's
a
pretty
long
good.
time
I
ago.
don't really. It's not that
Yeah.
memorable. You said rapper. I
Yeah,
thought a Khalifa Kush.
they just put a name on everything. It's like fucking whatever the fuck you want to call it, an OG. You know, like there's everything OG now. You know, like
Yeah, I had something like triple OG goo the other day.
oh okay.
Actually, it might be in my vape, whatever that is. But yeah, that's and that's where I've been loving indicas more lately too. It's like the late night puffing on it.
Yeah, me too. Just calms me down. You know, I like them both, but sometimes I'll smoke some of that sativa. You know, I usually like to leave a little bit of time if I smoke before work ever. I'll go into work and I'm like, dude, I'm fucking nervous as shit, bro. Like,
Yeah, some.
I'm all like fucking edgy.
Dude.
From the weed I grow, it's like pretty sativa-y. I'm like, god damn, it's got that like nervous energy, which is cool sometimes, but other times I'm like, fuck, dude.
You know what you should try to do with your genetics there is I think you should get like a CBD high strain and cross it with
Yeah.
your high sativa. Get like a Harley Quinn, which I think is a sativa but CBD dominant strain, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken, or something like that.
That would be cool. I've always wanted to grow some CBD stuff. I've never even tried CBD until like 2 weeks ago. My back was pretty fucked up and I went out and spent $50 for some CBD cream, and It's pretty good, dude.
It helps?
Yeah, it
You
definitely
felt
helps.
it? Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, it has a bunch of other stuff in there that gives you some numbing effect, but it definitely helped with the inflammation, and I had some acupuncture, but I was like hurting so bad. I was like, I gotta try something.
How do you like acupuncture? How many times?
That was like the second time I've used it, you know, like the fourth time I've done it, but it works, man. I was dying, dude, and now I'm fine, you know? Like, that guy just stuck a bunch of needles in me and put a bunch of, like, heat pads and stuff, and, like, dude, I feel so much better. It's amazing.
Dude.
I wish I knew about that when I was younger, when I had back problems,
I've always
dude.
been kind of, I've always been kind of scared of doing acupuncture, to be honest, and I've never been to a chiropractor. I've got tons of massages before, but, like, for some reason, I've always been like, I don't want to, I'm going to do it. I guess it's a money thing, too.
Well, it's kind of weird having someone stick a bunch of needles in you, but it's like you can barely feel them. It's weird.
What if they had, like, a cannabis-infused acupuncture? Like, all the needles have, like, a little milligram of THC, like some...
Well, they say that shit increases your senses, so it might fucking hurt more, you know?
Okay. Interesting. Or, like, if it was a CBD, like, if they dipped each one in CBD and
That would be cool.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Some guy who does
definitely
acupuncture.
recommend acupuncture for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been to the chiropractor?
Yeah. Well, I was going to the chiropractor. He wasn't doing the trick, dude.
Oh yeah.
So that's when I'm like, I
What
gotta
about
try
massage?
something. A little bit. Yeah. Mostly my girlfriend.
Yeah. Same here, but
Yeah. I just kind of like guilt trip her into giving me massages. I'm just like, well, I'm just gonna go get a massage, and then she'll be like, well, I'll give you one. And I'll be like, okay, good.
That's a good tactic.
Yeah, it works fucking awesome, bro. I hope she doesn't listen to this podcast, or I'm gonna be fucking going to pay for my massages soon.
She'll be like, oh damn.
Yeah.
Little insight there, man.
Yep.
I'll have to try that out.
Yep. I'm learning with age.
Oh man, you cracking me up, Chris. You got to give me some of that flower that you just.
Yeah, we've got that punch breath coming up. It's fucking amazing, dude. It's just super. It smells kind of like candy almost. It's some of the most frosty bud I've ever.
Really?
Definitely the most frosty bud I've ever
I
grown. But it's like, dude, it's fucking crazy. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the shitty part is it likes to get mold in it. Last year we grew it and I wanted to keep it longer just to get more bud. I'm like, no, they're still getting bigger. But this year I'm like, no, we're fucking cutting it now, I don't want to lose any of it because it's fire. Those were
you're harvesting it earlier than you just to not get the mold?
Yeah, it's like done. It could, like, weed will just keep on budding, it's never gonna, like, it's not gonna stop budding until, like, you change the light a lot. So you have to, like, look at the resin. You can get a magnifier and look at your resin heads and see when they're ripe, like the little crystals on the bud. And it looks good to me,
So
But I started to see some problems developing, and starting to get a couple nugs with bud rot. And once that starts getting in a plant, it's easy for it to, like, spread around, kind of. So, yeah, I chopped it down on, like, Friday night.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Then the Big Mac, that one's coming down.
Big Mac.
Yeah, those are like the expensive ones, bro. Those seeds are fucking $200 for a pack of seeds.
How many seeds? 20?
Usually they have 10. The Big Mac had like 16 randomly, but usually there's 10 in a pack.
Okay.
And then they're regular seeds, so some are males, some are females. You can't even use all of them, So it's like...
And where do you get those seeds for maybe somebody listening?
You can buy them at dispensaries. I got the Big Mac seeds. There's a breeder called Capulator. He makes seeds. They sell them at LA Made. It's a collective or not LA Made. It's called Piece of Green Collective. Yeah, that's a good spot. There's a weed company called LA Made, and they grow a lot of his strains, and they grow in soil. Their bud's fucking good, and they sell their bud there from LA Made.
I need to check that out. I have not heard of that.
You should go there for sure.
Check that out. Huh?
Yeah, it was cool. They had a thing. They had free food for everybody, free mac and cheese, but it was a long ass line, like wrapped around the building. Fire. They had like kimchi mac and cheese. They had like pork belly mac and cheese. It was some like fancy ass mac and cheese truck.
Shoot.
But yeah, this guy had a line wrapped around the building for hours selling his seeds there. So far, for me, like, I don't know, the bud's really good. It's like a heavy yielder, but I had like lots of like, I've had a lot of mold issues with that one, dude, and just like,
Does a part of you just want to cry when that happens?
Fuck yeah, it does, dude. I put in a lot of work, and when I'm throwing away like fucking bags of bud, dude, it just fucking, it sucks, man.
It's like I'm trying to have a good day, but I just
and especially because I have like a couple other buddies that help, I grow with them too, and they help me take care of it, and I'm like fucking just sometimes hoping like they do exactly what they should, and it doesn't always happen.
It's very hopeful, Chris.
Yeah, so I'm like, fuck, dude. Yeah, that's what he said the other day. He's like, you don't sound too optimistic. And I'm like, no shit, dude. What the fuck, bro? Like, there's a bunch of shit you got to take care of out here.
And that's why I've been a pussy when it comes to starting my own. But much less I don't have the space, really. If I had more space, I'd have like probably a 6-plant hydroponic.
Yeah, like this year we have like 17 plants in his yard. I just did 6 because that's how many you can do. He has more people there, so I guess some people say you can do 6 a person. I'm pretty sure you can only do 6 per residence.
That sounds more. But
better. I don't know, And then another guy, he has like 13 plants, and they're all like like 6 feet tall, like fucking big ass plants. But next year we're gonna go bigger. This year we tried to go bigger, but I made the mistake of not going big enough with my containers, basically. So,
you didn't use the bags?
No, I used the bags, but I used like 20-gallon bags. Next year we're gonna go up to like some 100-gallon or like 200-gallon bags and grow some like real trees, dude.
Oh damn.
Yeah, we're gonna just grow less plants, but like a few like fucking monsters.
It makes sense, and that's kind of what we were saying earlier with quality. Like if you had like 6 bomb huge plants instead of 12. Small to mediocre.
Yeah. The only thing is with the big ones, if like you get a disease in it, like it could fuck up the whole plant, and then you don't have as many to replace it. But we're gonna just take the risk and just grow some fucking monsters just because you can, You know
what they say, man. Not taking risk is risky.
Yeah, the neighbors don't fucking care. This guy fucking doesn't even. He has this house next to my buddy's, and he doesn't even live there.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's just
Can
sitting
I
there. I wish we could grow some bud there. He's
Can
always
I move in there?
He comes by like every 6 months to mow all the weeds, and he's like, "Oh man, nice fucking crop." I want to be like, dude, let's get a whole crop in that house right there, dude.
But he doesn't like. There's nobody there, right? It's vacant.
Yeah, it's been vacant for like 8 years. That shit's worth like $700,000 the lot, or like 600,000.
Although I knew some farmer guy in Jersey. He was sitting on land worth like $30 million. His house was literally boards caving in. When it would rain, water would be in there. And you don't think of farms and stuff like this in Jersey, but there are a lot. But this guy refused to sell it. Like he had like the dirtiest place ever, but that's just who he was.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to. The guy was happier with his land. That was probably a family land than selling it for $30 million.
Yeah.
Which I respect the shit out of in like lots of ways.
Yeah, it's cool, dude. You just kind of friggin' keep it real sometimes. You see that?
It's and that's that guy's, I guess, happiness, right? It's like that's where getting off on some other stuff here, but
yeah,
that's funny though, man. That guy was quite the character.
Nice.
Yeah. Did I tell you about my one grow?
No,
I didn't.
I don't think so.
I ordered these seeds online. I don't remember the website, but it was called Passion Fruit No. 1 was the strain.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I bought it is because of the cover of it was like this purple bud with like orange hairs. So this is in Kansas at the time. And I started growing it in quick, like big, 32-ounce cups to start it out.
Yeah.
So most of them had died in a rainstorm, but I had one left. It was like probably a foot big.
Mm-hmm.
Taking care of it, loving it, just happy it survived. Go back there one day when it's about a foot big and it's painted in fluorescent orange paint. And then like I got there and I looked around like it was like in a fucking movie, dude. I'm like looking there like who, like somebody had to see me watering it and went over and painted it.
It's still
weird. It's still to this day I wonder who it was.
Maybe it was your dad or something.
No, it was out of their sight. It was out of my parents' sight, and they wouldn't have done that anyway.
Maybe they were trying to help you.
Yeah,
they were like, I'll just camouflage it for Jack, dude.
Yeah.
That way no one will see it.
And I tried to like save it too. I like put it in the water because there was a little stream there, but it was done.
Yeah, that's definitely how my first grows went. Pretty shitty. Usually it would be like, oh, there's bud on it. and then you'd go back and it would just be fucking gone because somebody would steal it or
that
some
was a
shit,
problem.
you know?
That's a problem too.
Yeah.
But that's the most important thing, especially for me back in like the slanging days, is like you keep it low key. Like all my friends who were grown were like, oh, I have this big plant, and it gets jacked.
Yeah.
Just don't tell people.
Yeah, you can't tell that many people, and like, I don't know, when you're younger, people steal shit more and do stupid shit, and I think people are smarter now. Like, most people know you can't just chop weed off a fucking plant and smoke it, you know? So even if you steal some weed, you might have to wait like 2 weeks to smoke it, or fucking microwave it, or some stupid shit that kids
Have
do.
you done that?
No, dude. But my girl, I know this guy, you know, and he's like, yeah, dude, I grew this weed, bro. I want you to try it so bad, bro. And he would like fucking microwave it for like 1 second, like a bunch of times. He'd be like, he'd be in the kitchen being like, beep, 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 beep. So I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm trying the weed, bro. It's perfect now, dude. You just microwave it for 1 second, like fucking 10 times, you know? Like, I'm good, bro. I have a fucking 10 jars of weed to smoke. I'd like to try your weed, but when it's dried, not in a microwave, dude.
I feel like that's like, I wonder if you could decarb bud in a microwave.
No. Probably. I think, like, if you microwave it, it's going to, like, fucking fuck up all the THC. Because once you, like, heat it to a certain point, it's going to be, like, activated, and then it's gonna like dissolve like it's been smoked. You know,
it has to be at the perfect temp for a decarb.
Yeah, if you put it too high, you're gonna like ruin it, you know. I don't know. Maybe you could. I don't want to. I'll ask that guy, and he'll fucking test it out for us. Actually, I'll be like, yeah, you microwave it for 7 seconds, fucking 10 times. I don't know, dude.
Yeah, but that's
it's funny. Weird.
That's funny. Yeah, I remember I had some bud one time, and I put it like it's like a drainage thing in my basement. I had like a huge jar, so I put it in there, and like you were saying with the mold earlier, the mason jar wasn't sealed all the way. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go smoke this, you know, eighth or whatever. I pull it out and it's all moldy. That was my only mold experience with just an eighth, and I was pissed. Yeah. So I was like, I could imagine with like a whole thing you've shown so much love to, and like.
Yeah, and that's the lame part is you see like one little speck on a leaf that looks yellow, and then you crack into a bud, and then you see like caterpillars have like eaten out the inside of your giant fucking colas, you know, and they like to attack those.
You think they get high?
I don't know. Probably.
Maybe they just love it. Maybe maybe caterpillars are stoners, dude. It's just like
they fucking love it, dude. Trust me, they like it.
maybe we're onto something.
Maybe we should just start smoking.
Are these the caterpillars that turn into butterflies? Maybe that's why they're trying to get high,
I think there's all different kinds, but it's mostly those little like white moths. Those are the ones I see that like to hover around, and they fucking lay their eggs on there, and then they turn into these little green ones. Every once in a while, you'll see like this shit called a hornworm, and you'll see one of those, and you'll get fucking chills down your spine.
Is it big?
Yeah, they're fucking big, and they're gross, bro.
Is there a reason for the name? Is there a horn on them?
Yeah, they have like a horn.
It's like a fucking rhino worm?
Yeah, if you see one that big, that means like you're going to have a lot of fucking damage, you know? You got to catch them when they're really small.
So that's just a different species, or they progress?
I know
you studied this.
I don't really know, you know? Honestly, you know, I think they progress, but there's like different kinds.
He's like the alpha worm.
Yeah, they're monsters, dude. Those will eat like a fucking quarter of weed in a day, you know? Like, I'm serious. They'll just chomp through like a whole fucking bud, dude. Yeah.
Damn.
Like that book.
Oh, what book?
The Hungry Caterpillar.
I've never read it.
Oh, shit.
Is it a good book? Am I missing out? You're talking about like I should know.
It's a children's book, dude.
Oh.
You never heard of that?
No.
Oh.
My favorite children's book was probably Good Night Moon. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's the only one I remember. Yeah.
I got three kids, dude, so I know them all.
So what do you think of like modern books and shit and cartoons? Because when I see cartoons these days, sometimes like compared to like the Scooby-Doo and stuff I watch, I'm like, this shit looks kind of crazy.
Well, it's pretty educational, you know, like they teach them a lot of shit on all these cartoons now about like teamwork or colors. They're always teaching, but lately my daughter's been watching Tom and Jerry.
Dude, Tom and Jerry.
She's
classic.
3, dude, and I'm watching Tom and Jerry, and I'm like, dude, there's no words. I'm like, they don't even talk. It's just music and them fucking hitting each
Yeah.
other the whole show and
Yeah.
giving each other looks. And I'm like, how does she like this? This is weird, dude. Like, everything else she's watched is like so like talking and like all this shit going on, but she's like, she loves Tom and Jerry now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How did you introduce her to it, or did she stumble upon it?
I think she just stumbled upon it, and her mom put it on one day, and now she asks for Tom and Jerry, and that's like her go-to.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
It's funny when like you're a kid and you have like that thing. Like for me, I was like loved the movie Lion King when I was a kid.
Yeah,
And I would just like watch Lion King all the time.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Kids get like
they
hooked
get
into
hooked,
that.
and they'll just
Yeah, I wasn't like that as much as my sister did. She was like in control of that shit, dude. She would just be like fucking whatever she would like on like repeat for a while, you know? So like whatever she saw, I probably saw like 100 times over, you know?
you feel free to grab some of that water if you want, bro. Sorry, lost my train of thought.
We were just talking about movies and stuff.
Oh no, but you're saying but yeah, just old, like you reminded me of something of my childhood that completely spaced out on. But anyway, back to what was your favorite cartoon?
Probably G.I. Joe, I would say.
Dude, I've never seen that.
Yeah. Yeah, we're from like a little different generation. It was
But still,
just
I had
like
older bros.
it was like there was a fucking show about toys, bro. Like, yeah, dude, back in the day they came up with the formula with like He-Man or G.I. Joe. I forget what the first one was, but like the toy companies started making cartoons of the toys, and like that was one of them, bro. And they had me hooked on those G.I. Joes,
on the
bro.
G.I. Joe, dude.
Yeah.
That's
And then at the end, they would always give you like a little educational piece, and they'd be like, "Knowing's half the battle. Don't swim in lightning."
Don't swim in lightning
Yeah,
and smoke some weed.
yeah,
But
yeah. That was probably my favorite, but it was during that generation of like action figures and like TV shows to go along with it. And
Rambo.
Now that's like the formula to like selling like all toys, dude. The toys come out before the fucking cartoon. Like they'll have the new Paw Patrol toy, and then the cartoon comes out a week later with that like toy in it, you know?
And they know what's going on there for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But yo, as we're wrapping up here, Chris, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What would you say to everybody listening and watching this that to help them on their cannabis journey? I know that's a crazy question. It doesn't even make sense.
I don't know. I guess it
That's why I'm
depends. It
asking.
depends what your journey is. But for me, like, I don't know, cannabis is pretty awesome, and it should be free or really cheap. So try and grow your own cannabis, dude. Don't let corporate America take over another awesome resource that people can grow at home. You know, like the way the world is now, like more people need to start fucking going back to their roots and learning how to grow food and grow their own cannabis. You can make beer at your house, you know, like there's a lot of cool shit you can do besides going on the internet or fucking ordering your dinner on Amazon in little plastic cups and cooking it, you know.
I
like,
didn't even know that was a thing, bro.
yeah, like, you know, you order your dinner and they send you all the ingredients in a box. But basically, you know, just get out there, grow your own fucking, and try and do it, you know, like buy a pack of seeds. When you get a seed out of a bag of weed, put it in some soil and get started there. Buy a book, go on YouTube. There's like more than enough information out there. Find like a source that you like and like, you know, learn from them. Because if you listen to like too many people, then you're going to be like crossing over everything and you're going to have like lots of like different opinions, you know. So just see what's out there, but just grow, you know, try
Just
and grow, you know, like,
And that's deep in that too, is like growing is like you're saying, your first batch, you just got to put in the work. You got to do it. You got to.
yeah, you got to do it. You got to be prepared for the whole thing, plan it out, you know, like you can plan how much money you're going to spend. You can do the math on how much nutrients you think you're going to use, or you can just wing it, you know, you can plant it in your garden, you know, next to your tomatoes and see how it comes out. But I just think more people should start growing, you know, so when you're out of weed, oh, your buddy grows weed, he can give you some, and people can trade and You know, people don't have to fucking waste their money on something that makes them feel better, you know, and spend $60 of your hard-earned money to like go to a dispensary and help pay fucking the people who work there, and like your $60 is going to be spread to like fucking 40 different people. Why not just do it yourself and like keep things local, you know?
True.
That's what I'm about, you know, like just trying to make shit organic, make it natural, you know, and it's just making things better, you know, like the way it is now, the way they grow now, it's like really bad for the environment. It uses like a shitload of power. Mostly everything's grown in rock wool, which is like fucking creates like tons of garbage, plus all the nutrients like pollute the oceans and stuff like that. So I don't know, do it organic, do it the right way, learn about regenerative farming, you know, that's like becoming a big thing now, you know. That's where I'm going with it. That's what I'm trying to learn more about, is just doing it all organic and just learning more about soil and doing it cheap, you know. Like this year I've fed my plants aloe vera and molasses, and fucking that was it, dude, and dry amendments, and for the most part they're coming out pretty good, you know. So
hell yeah, man.
Yeah, dude,
that was amazing, for real. And I didn't even think you, like, that question was so random, and you just freaking, that was amazing, Chris.
Thanks.
Hey, thank you, Brad. For real though, seriously. And that's some real talk for everybody. I hope you go out there, start growing, and
yeah,
just
not only weed, fucking plant. You get your fucking onion at home, dude.
I'm doing mint, basil.
Put it in some water, and you're gonna have a new onion in a month. Like I try and grow all kinds of shit and teach my kids that stuff. So, you know, if the shit does hit the fan one day, you know, we'll be able to fucking take care of ourselves.
For
Yeah.
real. Yeah, just
Or
keep
you know,
growing.
just to like have a hobby, you know, like just I like to get my hands in the dirt. It makes me feel alive. You
For
know?
real. Put some dirt on it out
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Put some dirt on it out there, you know, and just keep growing with your bud. And like I was about to say, what was I about to say, Chris? No, I'm just playing. Check out the True Buds TV YouTube if you want to check out some of these videos, because Chris and I have probably done, 8-10 videos together.
Yeah, we've done some cool stuff. We'll get a good harvest video going. Hopefully we can do something soon and show all these strains that I've been working on over the years. They're all flowered out and looking beautiful. So hopefully we can get some shots of those this week maybe, and show you guys what we've been working on.
That's what I'm talking about. And where can they follow you again, Chris? At Skyline Farms on Instagram,
It's
right?
called Skyline Farms LA.
Okay,
Yeah,
Skyline Farms
one
LA.
of your followers on YouTube reached out to me. It's pretty cool, dude. He's going to mail me some seeds. He actually has started his own breeding company and stuff.
Nice,
so,
man.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm excited to get those in the mail. He's out in Tennessee or some shit like that, dude. So that's pretty cool. You know?
Nice, bro. That's what I'm happy to hear the True Buds out
Yeah,
there.
so shout out to the Mars Genetics guy, man. Thanks for the seeds,
yeah,
bro.
Hey,
Yeah.
Mars Genetics, shout out to you, man. And also shout out to everybody who's tuned in today on this podcast as well as video form on YouTube. Feel free to check it out. This is the True Buds TV show. Honored to be here today with Mr. Chris Hulit.
Hulit. Yeah.
See, I looked at him. I was like, Hulit. Because I said his name earlier. He's like, Hewlett Packard, motherfucker. He didn't say that, but
Yeah.
anyway. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.
All right. Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Chris.
This is True Buds, that Mary Jane. Now we ain't new to this. For my stoners and for my cannabis enthusiasts, never heard a show as good as this. Yeah, number one, it's the best. Bringing in many special guests in the industry of cannabis. Business owners to growers, even artists you know of. So sit back and just roll up the perfect show for my smokers. True Buds.